Evening. Listen. If you have a credit score, if your money is inside of your bank account, or if you have credit cards, you need to know about this right now. Okay. Now, this is just one of the many changes that's happening, and we're going to continue to monitor this. But let's
All
listen,
right, 2 weeks
watch
ago,
this
we
and see
pledged
what's
to
going on.
closely track wealth and power and the powerful economic forces that are shaping your daily life and threatening your rights. Today, we continue that coverage by
That's right.
spotlighting the work of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or the CFPB, under the leadership of the director, Rohit Chopra. Few government officials have been more despised by Wall Street than Chopra. As a relentless enforcer of consumer protections, he's delivered for working families during his tenure. His resume includes removing medical debt from credit reports, capping overdraft and credit card junk fees, giving consumers greater control over their personal data, forgiving more than $10 billion in student loan debt in 2022 alone, forcing corporate offenders like Wells Fargo to collectively return more than $6 billion to consumers. So yesterday, President Trump fired him. Chopra's ouster cuts short his 5-year term nearly 2 years early, and it follows mounting pressure from Wall Street, which has been lobbying for his removal. Just 3 days after Trump was sworn in, the Wall Street Journal openly asked, why is Rohit Chopra still employed at the CFPB, end quote. Financial trade publications followed suit, questioning why Chopra remained in office. President Trump and his Republican allies in Congress now have the mechanisms to overturn some of these widely popular regulations that were brought in using the Congressional Review Act, which allows Congress to nullify new agency rules that have been finalized within the last 60 congressional working days. So some of Chopra's newer reforms that directly affect the financial health of Americans, could be on the chopping block, like potentially the CFPB's new rule that limits bank overdraft fees to $5. The measure is projected to save households an estimated $5 billion annually. Or the CFPB's action to remove medical debt from credit reports, a rule finalized just days before Biden left office. Medical debt is notoriously rife with errors, with CFPB research finding that more than 4 in 10 people with medical debt have received an inaccurate bill, while almost 7 in 10 have been asked to pay a bill that should have been covered by insurance. CFPB research finds that when medical debt was removed from credit reports, affected consumers saw an average credit score increase of 20 points. And by the way, that means you pay less interest on your credit cards, or less interest for your car loan, or less interest for something else that you're trying to borrow for. It's worth noting that just days before his firing, Chopra announced that the CFPB is seeking public comment on credit card interest rates, a move that could have set the stage for new regulations. Donald Trump, if you recall, campaigned on capping credit card rates at 10%. Chopra's initiative could have forced Trump to act on that promise, and Chopra made that clear in his parting words to Trump, writing, quote, "We have also analyzed your promising proposal on capping credit card interest rates, and we see a path for enacting meaningful reform. I hope that the CFPB will continue to be a pillar of restoring and advancing economic liberty in America," end quote.
Wow. Listen, let me tell you something. Let's get right into this. Let's get right into this, okay? For those who don't know, there's been a major shakeup, okay? And we're gonna break down to you how this affects you. So here, give me a second. Let me get my screen going here. First off, for those who don't know, okay, the head of the CFPB, the main director that everyone's been talking about, he's just been fired. Okay. Not only has he been fired, but he didn't even finish his term there. How does this affect you? How does this affect your credit score? How does this affect your bank accounts? How does this affect your credit cards? How does this affect you for the future? Let's have a deeper conversation about this, because people, they need to know this. By the way, if you are looking to accomplish your credit goals, we can help you. Scan that QR code to learn more about letting us know what your goals are, and we can help you accomplish that this year. Okay, let's go and get right back into, give me a second here. I'm going to show you all. I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick. Give me a second. I want to show you all, just so you all have an idea of what's been happening in the last, I would say, at least about 2 to 3 months. Okay, the last 2 to 3 months of what's been happening since the CFPB. And as we know, they've been busy. Okay, their most recent filing was with Wise.com, many of you all may not use that, but Wise.com is essentially if you are paying people overseas. But the biggest ones that people have been talking about this year was, of course, Equifax, right? Equifax, right? So we know about them. And of course, how they got in trouble, right? How they got in trouble for admitting that they were not doing their job when people were sending in disputes. Okay. They're not the only ones, though. See, we know we talk about the big stories, but there are a lot of people, right? There are a lot of people that are affected by mortgage companies. Um, we're talking auto loan companies. We're talking Cash App, right? Who polices these financial institutions? Who is going to police these financial institutions? Okay, because this guy, now don't get me wrong, he got credit for a lot of things, but at the end of the day, we at least had hope that if something happened wrong with your credit report, with your bank, with your credit union, that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was going to at least look into it and keep everybody posted, right? The list goes on. Capital One, right? Listen, prior to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau or prior to these past 2 years, none of these companies got in trouble like that. Now, I'm not saying that all of these companies should get in trouble just to get in trouble, especially if they did something wrong. We don't even know as consumers if someone did something wrong, right? Until that time, until something happens, right? Here, let me keep going. Then we also know about Experian. Listen, this just simply means, look at how long this list is. This was Walmart, Rocket Homes Mortgage, Early Warning Services, right? Which of course owns Zelle. Remember that? Everyone has been getting scammed by Zelle. And of course, like, who puts these people in place? Let me tell you something. If you think that this is big, I'm sorry, if you think that this is not going to affect you, this is going to affect you. When credit card companies, for example, when they was talking about when Trump said, hey, listen, I'm going to go ahead and try to get credit card interest rates to 10%, if that's what he was going to do. And it obviously just got into office. We don't know if that's going to happen yet. I'm saying that to say, who ensures that the conversation is had, right? Then we just talked about medical bills not being on your credit report. Guys, these things can be reversed. One thing I know, and this is not political. We want to make sure that everyone's clear on this. This is not political. But the current administration that's in right now, if there's something that they do not like, I think everyone can agree with this. If there's something that the Trump administration does not like, they're either going to reverse it or keep it from happening altogether. Am I right or wrong? So it's these little subtle comments, like like when all of these, like when Wall Street says, how does this guy still have a job? As if he's not doing his job. Did we forget? Let's keep scrolling here. Did we forget that Navy Federal got in trouble because of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau? Did we forget that? Did we forget about Apple admitting that, hey, we did some stuff too? Or did we forget? Let me go. Let me keep going. Where is it at? I know when we was talking about the where is it at? I think I just passed right by it. No, this one we was talking. Oh yeah, this was in November or somewhere around that time. Let me go back a little bit. Did we forget about all the payments that just went out as well too? I mean, why are we acting like we forgot about this stuff? Let me go. Oh, there it is right here. Did we forget about the Lexington law checks that went out? This was a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. This is the guy. So this is proof that people they're looking out for consumers. If you're doing your job, now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there's some things we probably didn't know about, whatever the case may be. But from the outside looking in, it looks like to me they were fighting for consumers. Now, after today, we're going to see how often these things, because look at this on the right-hand side. This shows you right here. January 30th, 2025. There was another thing that happened too in February as well too. But either way, you can see right here, they were going after they had about 3 to 4 updates a month. Okay, after all of these companies that they were going after, they have multiple updates every single month. Do you think that's going to happen now that he's not in that position anymore? The question is, are they going to continue to look out for the consumers? Again, take politics out of this. Who's going to look out for the consumer? We're going to see. We had we've been knew that Equifax was doing what they were doing, but what major corporation said anything about it? What major corporation said anything about Honda? What major corporation said anything about Cash App? What major corporation got on Experian, got on Capital One? Who gets on these companies? We're going to see. We're going to see. You all can see right here. Look at how many times they filed a complaint, or they sued a company, or they fined a company. This was at least 3 to 4 times a month. 3 to 4 times a month. We're going to see. Okay. Now, how's this going to affect your credit score? Let's talk about this. Remember, Equifax and Experian just got in trouble, right? And so they were saying that there was going to be some major changes going to be happening as far as disputes. That means one of two things. Either they're going to keep getting fined, because we know that they can't handle, we already talked about this. They cannot handle the overflow of people constantly making disputes, right? They can't handle it. So are they going to keep getting fined, or are we no longer going to fine them? And it's just going to stay like this, right? What do you all think the new administration, again, we're not even going to go into politics, the new head of the CFPB, what do you think is going to happen? We're going to see. Probably nothing. Probably nothing. Banks don't want to get in trouble. Banks don't want someone telling them how to do things. Banks just want to keep doing what they do, get the slap on the wrist, and keep moving. And keep moving. Now, is that all banks? It's not all banks. Is that every day? It's not every day. But who looks out for us? Who's going to look out for us? Right? Listen, I know I'm just not the only one asking this question. Okay. So again, now that's as far as the credit scores go. What about like as far as your mortgages and how the banks go? Right? Who's going to stay on top of these people? Let's get into the comments, man. Let's get into the comments. Listen, this is going to be crazy. This is going to be crazy. Tacoma, so listen, let me move myself up just a little bit, because this is out of control. This is out of control. All right. Let me make myself a little bit bigger here. There we go. There we go. This is the reason why we will go into hell. Listen, let me tell you something. I know that there is, I'm trying my best not to go into, like, I'm not going to go into politics or anything like that, but it's such a thin line, because people are pressing certain buttons, and it's making changes. I get it. Certain changes need to be made. However, who's going to look out for the consumer? We're going to see. Don't you all forget, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That's what their job is. I want to be clear. This is what their job is. So the question remains, right? The question remains, why do we make this change? So you want them to do more of this, or you want them to do less of this? That's the only time people get fired. That's it. If you want more of if you feel like this person was not doing their job and you can get more from someone else, or if you don't want them into everybody's business, right? Because let's be honest, people got friends at banks. Okay? So that means, in my opinion, I think he was fired so the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau can do less. What do you guys think about that? Am I right? Am I right or wrong? I think that he was fired, and we're going to see. We're going to see. They post about it. They post about what they do all the time. So if they're not talking about what they're doing for the consumers, it's going to show you that listen, I'm going to wait and see. Because I don't know, but I'm just saying, again, I think that, again, from the outside looking in, this is how I want you all to look at this. Let's put politics to the side. If the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau does or fines a company, or makes a bank get in trouble, or forces a financial institution to do something, you have to ask yourself just one question. I want everybody to ask themselves these questions. Does this help me, the consumer? Okay, let's go down. I'm not even gonna go down the entire list. Equifax Information Services, when they got in trouble for not reporting things properly on people's credit reports, does that help you? Yes or no? Right? I'm sorry. Let me clear up the question. Does Equifax getting in trouble for what they did, is that a good thing for you, the consumer? The answer is yes. If a mortgage company is charging people additional fees that they're not supposed to charge them, and they admitted to it, does that help you, the consumer? If Honda Finance around COVID, they knew people lost their jobs. And I know most of it was computer errors. Let's be clear on this. This was most definitely computer errors with Honda. Here's the problem. Where Honda dropped the ball, they didn't do anything to talk to the credit bureaus to say, hey, listen, this person was affected by COVID. They could not pay their bills. So therefore, we just want to have it look deferred on their credit report. For those who don't know, they had late auto loan payments on their auto loans. No one said anything about it except for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Does that help the consumer? Yes or no? No politics. Cash App, charging people, or when people got scammed or whatever the case may be, and saying, listen, you got to get stronger on your security. Who tells companies this? Does that help the consumer? Capital One saying, hey, listen, we're going to give you a certain amount of money for your savings account. I mean, your savings account with us. And then they don't give you what they promised you. They don't give you what they promised you. And then they get in trouble for it. Is that good for the consumer? And this is the last one. Hang in here with me. Experian finally admitting that, hey, when we get these disputes in, a lot of times we do nothing with them. And the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says, hey, listen, you can't do this. You can't do this. Is that good for the consumer? Yes or no, regardless of who you voted for? That's what this conversation is about. Listen, now I know it's not all on him. He didn't do everything, good or bad, whatever the case may be. I'm just simply saying is it safe to say things were getting done? Let's just say, Calvin, you know what? Nothing was getting done. Cool. Show me somebody else that's on these companies like this. That's on any company. Show me somebody that's on top of these banks. I know individuals, Elizabeth Warren, and so many, Maxine Waters. We got individuals, but individuals can only do so much. That's why, for those who don't know, that's why the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was started, to protect consumers. Y'all not listening. But what's going on? Good evening to you. Janetta is in the house. Sherman says, oh my God. Yes. Listen, we finna be out on our own. In a minute. I'm telling you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Lynette. What's going on? East Harlem is in the house. Tacoma says, I ain't leaving my money in nobody's bank to just take it. This is crazy. Ooh, Listen, I know it's a lot of stuff going on. I know. Ooh, listen, y'all not gonna want to hear this one. Did y'all hear about what happened at the Treasury Department? Woo-wee. Did y'all hear? Y'all ain't heard. Let me tell y'all something. Let me just show you all what's been getting our attention. Let me show y'all what's been getting our attention. The number one thing that has been getting everybody's attention. The number one thing that's been getting everybody's attention. I'm about to share my screen right now. The number one has been what? Plane crashes, right? Plane crashes, planes catching on fire, all kind of random plane stuff, right? That's what's getting our attention. Let me show you what else is getting y'all attention. Listen, this got my attention too. For all my sports fans in the house, y'all know what I'm about to talk about. Y'all know what I'm about to talk about, right? Y'all know what I'm about to talk about. And listen, this is gonna be real quick. This is the second thing that's getting our attention, right? One of the biggest trades in NBA history, right? But you know what's crazy that not many people are talking about? Y'all heard about this? Now, again, all politics to the side. Now, Elon Musk and his team, for those who don't know, they went into the Treasury Department and they said, essentially, I'm going to keep this at a kindergarten level. Elon Musk and his team, they went to the Treasury Department. For those who don't know, the Treasury Department is essentially, they essentially are the checkbook for the United States of America. So they're handling who gets paid, what goes out, essentially handling federal funds, handling government funds. Only about 4 people have had access to this whole process in, let's say, the last 10, 15 years, whatever. So Elon and his team, they walk in. They said, hey, listen, we need access. You guys are seeing right here. We need access to the federal payment system. The guy says, hold on here. Let me bring this up right here. Ooh, y'all gonna see. Hold on, where's it at? Man, where's it at? It shows how I'll show you the guy. But either way, y'all just take my word for it for now. They walk in, he's arguing with the guy. His team is arguing with the head of everything. And the guy says, you don't need access to this. Long story short, you don't need access to this. Why do you need access to this? The federal payment system. Why do you need access to this? And Elon says, listen, regardless of what you think, I'm getting access to this because I'm the right hand. So the guy says, okay, cool. The guy leaves. And I don't know who the guy is, but here, I guess let me just type in Treasury. The guy, he quits. No, he resigns. Yeah, he resigns. This is it right here. I know y'all heard about this because see, it's so much. See, when there's so much stuff going on right now, we gonna miss stuff like this. You can't miss this. You can't miss this. Senior U.S. official exits after going back and forth with Musk and his allies over payment system. Do you all know why he quit? Something finna go down. Now, I don't care who you voted for. I mean, not in a bad way. This isn't about politics. This is about credit. This is about money. This is about banking. This is about the financial institution. When you get paid, you want to make sure your money is solid. This is what this is about. First off, for someone to quit. Let me move this over. Treasury official quits after resisting Musk's request to payments. This was 2 days ago. He says, listen, this is the short version. He says, listen, if y'all want access to this, I already know, and y'all forcing access to this, I already know something is about to happen. Let me tell y'all something. If it was something good that was going to be, now I'll keep that opinion to myself. Short version is, this is a senior, somebody who had this job for years. He says, I'm done. I'm done. Y'all want to do this? Get access. I'm not going to have nothing to do with it. I'm not going to have anything to do with it. It's about to get crazy. It's about to get crazy. Listen, let's get back. Let's get back into it. Yanobi says they never looked into it. I'm still waiting on Blue Bond. They took $1,800 and closed my business account. Who looks out for the consumers, Yanobi? Who gonna look out for the consumers now? We gonna see. Tacoma says, what in the world did Apple do? I didn't know nothing about that. Oh, long story short, Apple got in trouble and you get like $20 per device. I forgot specifically what it was. I did a video on it too, Tacoma. So go back through my lives and type in Apple. I forgot specifically what they did, but you get $20 for each Apple device that you've had, I think in the last 8 years, because they got in trouble for some stuff. But either way, again, now I know what y'all thinking, Calvin. That's $20. I get it. But who else is fighting for you right now? I know it's a long list of people that's fighting for the consumer. Not. Moving on. Sherman says, I received a check for Lexington credit repair fraud for $300 and more. That's what I'm talking about, Sherman. Sherman said, let's hope they do their job. Absolutely. She says, it can just be for political reasons. And listen, you already know what it is. She says, Yanobi says, people on social media are taking advantage of this right now. Listen, we know what it is. We know what it is. All right. We know what it is. Hold on. We got some spam in here. Let me get some spam out. All right, cool. All right. So Tacoma says, I agree that this is the reason, Calvin. Absolutely. Listen, I'm telling you, R. Lake is in the house. What's going on, sir? Lynette is in the house as well, too. Valerie says, Elon Musk. Listen, y'all know what it is. Nikki says, yes, the Protection Bureau is important. Exactly. Uptown Budget says, yes, they took over the United States. They took over the checkbook. Oh, man, it's about to go crazy. Man, it's so much I want to say. But y'all know I can't say a lot of stuff on my platform. I just can't. I just can't. But I'll at least say this. Is this what America wants? I think that's a fair question. Every time changes happen in America, regardless of who the president is and things of that sort. It's a fair question to ask. Is this what America wants? Is this what's best for America? That's up to you. Now, at the end of the day, somebody got to look out for us. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. Uptown says, "Oh yeah, the Luka trade, right? All of this stuff." He says, "I get all my news from you, Calvin." Listen, a lot of people been saying that. I did. Listen, I do not want to ask y'all, because if I ask y'all gonna say yes, and then I gotta do a news segment every morning. So it's gonna be it. I ain't gonna lie, that's a lot. But you know what? Let me listen. We'll come back to that another time. All right. But anyway, Nick Ugrass says, listen, Elon trying to get embezzled. Listen. Oh, it's about to go crazy. Lynette says, are they trying to make the world go bankrupt? Oh, it's about to go crazy. It's about to. You know what? I don't think they're going to try to make it bankrupt. I do see them saving money on certain. And here, I'm going to be honest. I do see some pros and cons on certain decisions, not the CFPB. Oh, no, that was a bad decision. I think there are some pros and cons, like cutting some spending on certain things that do make sense. But there's a lot of people that are. That's what people got to understand. There are smaller things that will save some money. And that's like the only pro about some things. But people got to understand also, there are more people affected by you trying to save money on this one small thing. Does that make sense? And so because of that, people are affected. Now, I'm not going to go into every single thing that's been happening. I'm not, my focus is credit and financials, like that. Y'all know why y'all here. But again, we have to ask ourselves, does it make sense? Is it what's best for the consumer? Right? Nicky Grass says Elon trying to get embezzled. No, not. And I get where you're going, but you know what? They trying to control. Listen, in my personal opinion, they're trying to strong arm people into making a decision. They're trying to paint people into a corner. Let me tell y'all something. America is a very powerful country. Right, we know the United States of America, like we usually don't get it. We usually don't dabble into a lot of other stuff, but y'all gonna see how involved we are, because there's a lot of strong arm. And for those who don't know, strong arm is essentially painting someone into a corner where they have to make a decision to either work with you or work around you. But a lot of places, a lot of countries, Providence's place like that, they're not in a financial position to work around us for various reasons, right? So again, we'll see how things kind of play out. But we have to acknowledge what is best for the consumer and what's not best for the consumer. Everything's not just about making money. Some stuff's about saving money. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all know these tariffs are going to affect y'all. And this ain't even to get political. This is just when something is signed into order, we can't act like everything is good or bad. It's like, hey, these are the facts. The facts are prices are going to go up. If y'all thought that it was inflation, listen, you had inflation because of various amount of reasons. Now you know what this next price hike is going to come from. Let me give you, I should have brought this in. But see, here, I'm gonna give you guys this real quick. This was yesterday. They interviewed a guy that owns an auto shop, like an auto repair shop. And they said, hey, how are the tariffs going to affect you? Because we hear about, goods and, stuff like that, stuff being shipped overseas and all this other stuff. We know some food may go up, some toys, some clothes and stuff like that. He said, to be honest with you, people aren't thinking about the cost of oil. He says, when we do an oil change, he says your average oil change is about $50 to $100. He says oil changes at minimum are going to be about $100 just because of the tariffs. He says, listen, prices go up for me. I can't stay in business if I pay the price. So I have to pass the price to who? The consumer. And by the way, I know we have everybody that watches me, right? We got people, so we're not getting into politics, but I'm simply saying that certain things are going to affect us. And it's things like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that will be normally like, hey, hold on. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, you can't do that. Hey, this shouldn't be like this, at least with banks and financial institutions and things of that sort. We finna be by ourselves out here. So Valerie just said, I heard about it. The plane crash is just a smoke screen. Insane. Listen, I'm telling y'all, it's crazy out here. Yonobi says, let us know in the community. You know I will. Speaking of which, speaking of the community, for those who don't know what Yonobi's talking about, again, we have a credit community. I'm gonna show you guys this real quick, just for a hot second. We have a credit community real quick, guys. We help people increase their credit scores, qualify for homeownership, and help them lower their monthly car payments, no matter what your credit goal is. That's why we talk about this stuff, because we have to stay in the know. And as we stay in the know, you stay in the know. So either way, if you got goals you're looking to accomplish this year, scan that QR code or click the link in the description below. Okay. Don't worry, I'm changing my screen and I'll circle back to this in 1 second. Okay, there we go. All right. Thanks, Shinobi. Appreciate that. All right. So now, listen, Lynette says, oh, yeah, we already went up over that. She's like, 44 minutes ago, Treasury Department gives Elon Musk teams access to federal payments. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I believe it. Matter of fact, let me refresh this. Listen, I believe it. Let me go into news real quick. Let's get some breaking news up in here real quick. All right. So here, I'll find that out. Oh, you know what? I typed in resign. Let me type in this real quick. Okay, there it is. There we go. Listen more, talk less. Appreciate you being here. Listen more, talk less. Let's put us on game. Let's go share this real quick. Here it is. 50 minutes ago, ABC has confirmed what Listen More, Talk Less just said. This was 50 minutes ago. And also, too, I just want to make sure y'all understand in certain things. Y'all see how that news came late at night? Y'all know what day it is, right? It's a Sunday. Who in the world? Who is at work that's in the federal whatever and making move? Listen, this is strategically done. He now has access to the checkbook. Y'all want to read it? Let's read it. Oh man, because I know some people thinking like, oh, this don't mean nothing. Oh, you know what? Here, I'm gonna see if I can. This is 34 seconds. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it though. So I would have to stop sharing and then come back. I don't want it to be pausing. Here, we can just read it together. We'll read it together. All right. So here, check this out. Oh, it's playing automatically. Jesus. All right. So here, check this out. I just told you, that's crazy how we was just talking about this. The Treasury Department has given Elon Musk and representatives of his Department of Government Efficiency, right? DOGE, as we know. All right. So now, team access to the vast federal payment system responsible for handling trillions of dollars in government expenditures. Multiple sources have told ABC News. The payment system, because I know some of y'all thinking, oh, that don't mean nothing. Okay. The payment system, which is essentially a checkbook for the entire federal government, is a closely held operation run by career officials with limited number of people authorized to access the information given. It contains sensitive information about hundreds of millions of Americans. Man, this is crazy. Let's go back up here. Right here. Okay. No. Okay, listen, I know some people say they were retiring, blah, blah, blah. Let me see here. All right, there it is right here. If Musk or his team were to attempt to block these payments, it would likely face legal challenges given the money that's approved by Congress. Now, here, let me tell y'all something. Let me just ask y'all a basic kindergarten question. This is a basic kindergarten question. Would he need access if he's not going to make changes? Probably not. He doesn't need access to just ask a question. He could just say, hey, I need a report every single week on where the money is going. And that be it and walk out. He says, no, I need access to this. Why do you need access unless you want to change something? Why do you need access unless you want to control something? Why do you need access unless you want to press a button on something? Y'all do know the finger is right here on the button. I'm not asking people what they think, and not in a bad way. It's not about what we think. It's about what's happening. Now, I know some people are like, well, Calvin, what should we do? Man, we can't do anything. We can do the only thing we can do is see what they do and then, maneuver from there. Right. So as for now, nothing has happened. Well, technically, he went from, hey, I need access to they said you're not getting access. And then he says, oh, I'm going to get access because this is what we finna do. And the guy says, well, I'm out. I'm quitting. Because I already know I got a feeling something to go down. He's out. So again, we're gonna see this week. It's been crazy these past couple weeks. And see, we keep thinking, oh, well, this only affects, illegal immigration. Oh, this only affects, the people that got off in January 6th. Oh, all financial institutions, banks, credit card companies, interest rates. This stuff is major. This stuff is major. All right, listen. Let's see here. That's what it was, Patricia. Apple was recording conversations. They still recording these conversations. Y'all know what it is. We talk about something and then we see it when we watch it on YouTube. We talk about something and it show up on our phones and we ain't even searched it yet. We know it. Donnell says Musk in the Treasury has my alarm bells ringing. Not good. Listen. Lynette says, I am military and he is not looking out for America. Whew. I'm just reading comments. Listen, Courtney says, my CFPB complaints getting automatically closed. Ooh, man. Courtney, keep us posted. We haven't heard this. I have not seen anybody else stuff getting closed, but it may start to be an uptick because there's a lot of people. For those who don't know what Courtney's talking about, if you do have a complaint with any financial institution, or something that has to do with your money, or if you are looking to dispute something on your credit reports, what people are doing is they're using the CFPB as a part of the dispute process. People are talking about it on YouTube. This is something it's legit, it's legal, and either way. And so, me personally, I think it's just the height of it all. But now that the old head, the old director is now out, we're going. Listen, we do. Let me explain this to you. Now that the person that was in here, and I keep saying it because I don't want to mess up his name, but the guy that was here prior to, now that he's gone, they're going to change what they're going to focus on. This is no different than when Elon took over Twitter. You guys remember that? And he brought in the sink. For those who don't know the story, this is what happened. Elon Musk owned a very large amount of Twitter shares as far as the stocks market is concerned, right? So he invested a lot into Twitter, so much so that he had essentially majority ownership of the company. That's why he took over. When he came in to the Twitter offices, he came in with a sink. For those who don't know, he came in with a sink and he said, I'm here to let everybody know, let this sink in. We're taking over. The first thing he started doing was firing people. He cut the fat to him. He said he cut the fat. Again, this has nothing to do with politics. This is facts. Am I right or wrong? He cut the fat. That's what they do. They're cutting things. Things that you thought mattered is going to be cut. Is going to be cut. So I'm telling you, now people have to process. Everything's not automatic. People have to process those CFPB complaints. I'm so glad you brought that up, Courtney, because listen, something might happen. Listen, I need you all to keep me posted in the comments. If your CFPB complaints are getting closed, keep me posted. I haven't heard of this from somebody. I will say because this might be fresh. He just got fired yesterday. So this might be, they probably don't know direction yet. Like cases they were working on. Y'all do know that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, I showed y'all the open cases. I showed y'all the closed cases. Y'all do know they got open cases. Like cases that still like that. It's not even done yet. Let me show y'all this real quick. I know y'all can't see it. Give me a second. Where is it at? Was it warning letters? No. Ooh, I had this up earlier. I can't find it. This was enforcement by the numbers. No, it gave me a list of, I know you guys can't see it. Hold on. I was gonna try to find it. But either way, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, they have open cases right now. Man, I'm gonna keep y'all posted, man. Listen, Nikki says if Elon touches that Social Security or that Medicare, the elders will be in the streets protesting. Listen, it's so crazy because we gonna see. We gonna see. Listen, more talk. Let's say, is that the same Dogecoin that was 0.0074? Listen, it probably was. I think, but no, Doge is his I won't say the agency, but essentially what he's calling his allies, his team of people. That's what he's calling them. So the coin that he had, that was something separate. Yeah, that was something separate. But same name, though. Okay. Anything that has to do with him. Lynette says China. Listen. Okay. I know that's right. Listen more talk. Let 850 Club Elite is in the house. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Listen more talk. Let's what's your well, you ain't got to put your name in here. But if you say you elite, you elite. Okay. I want you to put your business out here. Valerie says this is crazy. Oh, yeah. Patricia said this is terrible. Listen. Trump came here with the vengeance. Let me tell y'all something. And this ain't even political. We ain't saying nothing bad. We only talking facts. Listen, and I'm telling you, it doesn't matter who you voted for. You are about to be affected. You're about to be affected as a consumer. Like I said, Lady Johnson said this should be a conflict of interest. It most definitely should be. It most definitely should be because they benefit or don't get they benefit and they don't benefit based on what the like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau or even having access to federal funds and things of that sort. You bet like there's some type of that's too much control. Man, listen. Chris Pittman said it. I ain't said this. This what Chris said. Can't believe people voted for this. We are not a serious country. Elon Musk from South Africa is all up in our federal checkbook. Listen, woo, you hit it right on the head, man. I don't know, and maybe this is. Listen, if there's anybody that voted for this administration, I don't want anybody to feel bad because you probably didn't see this coming. But I wonder, and I just wonder, are there people that voted for this administration and they wanted this to happen? Because you didn't know everything that was going to happen. Let's be honest. We kind of heard some things that was on the list of things to do, and I got a random question. Me and my wife was talking about this the other day. I got a random question. Like when Biden was in office and like George Bush was in office, Obama, even when Trump was in office, how like they would say, hey, I'm trying to do this, and they had to get enough votes. I haven't seen anybody vote on anything like the past 2 weeks. Anybody else notice? Is that just me? Have y'all noticed that nothing has been voted on in like the past couple weeks? It's just been like, what do you call that? Something was it enforcement order, whatever it's called. Everything is or whatever, an enforcement order, whatever you call it. I don't know. I'm not getting into politics. I'm not trying to get it. But y'all put the answer in there because y'all know y'all keep up with stuff like that. But my point is, I thought we were supposed to vote on stuff like that. That's what it is. Directive order. No, executive order. That's what it is. Executive order. I thought we had to vote on stuff. Like I thought the House of Representatives or how bills get passed and, my name is a bill and, the Democrats say this and the Republicans say this and some people say yay and some people say nay. We ain't seeing none of that. It's like, hey, this is this and this starts by and this is going to start tomorrow. Somebody put on Facebook the other day. I couldn't believe it because it's not my industry. Somebody said that all federal employees had to remove the pronouns by 5 p.m. What happens if you don't? You get fired. That's what happens. You get fired. Did anybody vote on that? Man, listen. Again, this Trump said it a while back. He said recently, he says, listen, I promise you, y'all won't have to vote again. I ain't seen no votes happening at all. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. Deborah says, this is scary. This is scary. Watch this. Listen more, talk less says, you know what? They are about to leak people information. Then Experian and Equifax will charge people for identity theft protection and credit monitoring. Ooh, man, you know what? What's crazy is, what if they've been already doing this low key? Because listen, Lady Johnson says they are up to something for sure. Lynette says Elon is trying to insert himself into Germany's politics as well. Let's talk about that. Y'all see how we trying to like claim other countries and like it's some stuff is petty. You change the Gulf of Mexico. First off, let me tell y'all something. I know I'm an African-American male living in America, a black man living in America. I personally don't think like why are you changing the name of the Gulf? Like, why? I promise you, we should be trying to figure out what's happening to these planes. I promise you, we should be trying to figure out way more other important things. Prices still keep going up. Interest rates are still going up. And we talking about the Gulf of Mexico. Moving on. Was Elon even confirmed to see federal documents? Gray line, you already know. They can do it. Listen, let me tell y'all something. They are about to do whatever they want to do. I don't know what else we got to see. It's whatever they want to do is what's about to go down. Who's going to stop them? No one. I don't even know if 4 years is going to stop, man. Listen. Chris says we did this to ourselves in a way. Absolutely. Listen, Tacoma says it's going to come down. It's going to come down to feeding your family or other things. We are going to have to go into survival mode. This is all what they want to do, and they are going to do it. We are in for the H of the R. Right. Listen. Okay. The multi-cented billionaire has opinions about your spending. Let me tell you something. Listen more, talk less. Jamie's in the house. All right. I had a pending complaint close with the system generated letter. I'll open another complaint. That's 2. Listen, we finna turn this into another video. I'm gonna keep y'all posted on this. We're gonna start staying on top of these closed CFPB complaints. Oh, it's about to go down. It's about to go down. That's gonna be crazy. I told y'all. Now, I don't know if that's now. I told y'all. I know these credit reports supposed to be accurate, but let me tell y'all something. Some of this stuff does have inaccuracies on them. It's not fair. It's not fair. The boss says, just found you guys. Evening, you all. What's going on? What's going on? All right. So, okay, Uptown Budget says he's not going to send a certain payment out. EBT, yeah, EBT, welfare, WIC, Section 8, check, HUD, money, etc. And certain skin folks are not going to get the benefits. You should have fixed your credit a long time ago, like Calvin been preaching. Been trying to tell him. For real. I've been trying to tell him, appreciate you, Uptown, for sure. Sean says, I had a complaint closed a few days ago. Let's talk about these complaints real quick. How off, like, I never saw complaints get closed like that. Like, it was few and far between. You know what I mean? Listen, they probably not even going to be processing these complaints. This is going to be something to clean up with for sure. Armando says they're cleaning up house. Wake up, people. Nikki says, my mom not only get Medicare Social Security, but she has rental properties with tenants on Section 8 as a part of her retirement. This is not good. Executive actions. Yeah. Elon doesn't know a darn thing about the government. Has he ever worked for the government? Listen. Do y'all I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. No, forget it. I'm gonna ask it anyway. Because only the real people are here right now. Check this out. Do y'all remember when Donald Trump had asked Obama to see if he was like an American citizen, to see if he should even be a president? Y'all remember that? I see nothing but unqualified people like taking these roles. I'm just saying. So, or are you saying that people with money should be in place? Cool. Then let's start putting together a pool of people that we can at least have a say so in. But it don't seem like that's going to be the case either. Listen, Canada and Mexico want all the smoke. Trump can't bully anybody. Can't bully anybody going forward. He's about to F around and find out. You got a point. We gonna see, man. Listen, Energy Coach Selena says, I remember listen more, talk less in the class the other night. There you go. See, y'all up in here. Executive order. That's what it is. Lady John says crickets. They scared. She says, I thought so as well. I thought it was supposed to be a rundown. Listen, absolutely. Tacoma says that don't apply to them, Calvin. They running things literally. Okay. Listen, the boss says they took those website downs to do fat on Friday. Really? Oh, yeah, I remember that. Listen. I totally get some things. And I'm not trying to, because again, I'm not trying to like make us be against each other. But I will say this. You can't act like everything that a person does is 100% correct. If they slap your mama, they are in the wrong. Okay? If they put, I'm just saying, not everything is, but hey, I guess so. I guess everything that's done is we just supposed to say, hey, that's just how it's supposed to be. We just supposed to just lay on down, and that's just how it goes. Well, good to know. I see. I need to know these things. Energy Coach says, yes, prices are going sky high. I want my own vegetable and fruit garden and prepare. I know that's right. I have no clue what's about to happen. Nick Grass says he wants to change the name to the Gulf of America and be able to drill for oil. Ooh, man, listen. Lady Johnson says we have birthright. Let's stop paying taxes. Listen, let me tell you something. Listen. Now, Armando's in the building. Armando says, listen, I'm black and a Cuban and a man. I voted for Trump and he's doing the right things. Be patient. He's cleaning out the deep state. If you don't see that, you're blind. I, I mean, I do have a question. And I'm not saying that some things are right, some things are wrong. Let's just say that there's a boatload of stuff. A boatload of stuff. Trump did say the other day that safety is his number one concern for America. Did he feel like that on January 6th? I don't know. That's number one. Number two, police officers got hurt. And I know people rock and roll for the police. I mean, that's how it's supposed to go, right? Was safety number one that day? Let's just say you drop. No, what I think what the biggest thing is that how it's so many. I want to say some stuff. Y'all see me holding back. I don't want things to go to a certain point because I don't want to get shut down. I ain't trying to go to jail. I'm just trying to talk about the regular stuff. But I'm just saying, no, let's be honest. If things are a certain way, does any Trump supporters think that he's done anything wrong? Like one thing, or maybe should have reconsidered something? But I guess not. But hey, you know what? With the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, they got a lot of people some checks. Did anybody? No, I'm moving on. Listen, we finna go ahead and move this on. Now, again, the thing is that this is going to be crazy. This is going to be wild. Y'all know what this is. Chris Pittman says the CFPB leader fired, change the direction for the agency, or leave the agency leaderless without direction. Chris over here asking good man. That's what the question is, right? That's what it is. Elizabeth's in the house. What's going on, Elizabeth? Another 850 Club elite member is in the house. Many of these federal job vacancies will not be filled. Oh, you better believe it. Elizabeth says, what's happened? Listen, the CFPB, the head of the CFPB, he's been fired. We're also starting to see a slow uptick in people's CFPB complaints being closed. We're going to keep an eye on that because who else going to talk about it? Listen, Tacoma said the orange head went to his head. Armando says individual payments are not being affected. I hear you, Armando. We got to keep us posted. Armando, listen, we need your honest opinion in these next 4 years. Okay, we're gonna need your honest opinion in these next 4 years. Okay, don't flake out on us. Okay, y'all remember that when he went out to Obama's birth certificate? Listen, man. Listen, Sergeant King says, I'm late. What happened? Y'all know what it is. So Equifax closed my dispute hours after submitting it 3 times. That is crazy. 850 Club. So Calvin, if they stop dismantling the penny, what will people do with the pennies in their wallets? I need to take my jars with coins to the bank. Oh, you got a point. So you know what I did? For those who don't know, and this is on the table. I don't know if this got done yet, but they were talking about what Elon says it costs 3 cents to make 1 penny. And I never thought about that. Anyway, but what does that mean? We stop making pennies, or pennies don't have any value? So, man, that's going to be a big deal, because if they have no value, what can we do with them? Y'all better listen. Y'all better take all them pennies to y'all bank ASAP. Okay. ASAP. Okay. So anyway, listen, listen, I can't get, oh, Deborah said that's why Elon kicked Vivek to the curb. Yeah. Listen, not everything makes sense, man. Come on, y'all. Listen. Just and I know this is tough. When we had to come to the realization that Biden was getting too old, we know that was tough for 2 reasons. One, nobody wanted to step up. And it was man, how come we don't have another option? And not in a bad way. It was okay, if this is what we're doing, then let's roll with it, right? That's a tough conversation for a lot of people to have. It's we knew Biden was getting older. You gotta call a spade sometimes. But I guess we just won't, right? Lynette says, listen, a lot of what Trump is doing is illegal. And that's why the courts had to get involved pertaining to the federal money that was already allocated before Trump was even elected. Listen. Tacoma says, well, I'm blind. For real. Let's get some shades around here, man. Let's get some shades around here. She says, Valerie said, did you feel like that when he reduced the FAA budget? Listen, man, we not finna do it. For real. Listen, Yvonne says, say that. Listen, y'all know what it is, man. I'm not trying to listen. We not listen. I know I'm skipping through some comments. We about to wrap up tonight, man. Listen, was tonight good or not, man? Was tonight good information or not? Listen, I'm gonna keep y'all posted because it look like we may have to talk about not everything that Trump talks about. We're not gonna make this as that. This is not that type of news. As far as your money, your credit, these financial institutions, these banks, these credit unions, I'm gonna make sure you all continue to get this information. But I will say this. We have to ask ourselves a basic kindergarten question. Is this good for the consumer or is this bad for the consumer? With a yes or no, not red or blue. Is it yes or no? Just like that. Okay. It's just keeping it just that simple. Okay. But either way, Yvonne says, I'm that friend hitting you with the you won't. See, please don't, right? Listen, and so Energy Coast, she says, listen, so anyone can go ahead and apply for the position. Listen, exactly. Listen, more, can pennies be worth 4 cents? That's what it like it's finna be, especially if they start producing the new ones. Exactly. Listen, check this out. Sergeant King said the CFPB did nothing with my complaint about the USAA stealing my money. Listen, how long ago did you put that complaint in, Sergeant King? If it was like in the last 3 days, we know about that. Deborah said, you speaking the truth. Listen. Oh, Donnell, you for real about that? Donnell says Elon is starting a payment platform called X Payments. Let me look this up. I'm interested. Oh, okay. I do see this. Wow. Okay. Listen, see, some stuff I miss. This is crazy. X Teams with Visa on new digital payments tool. Oh man. Oh, let me show y'all because y'all can't see this. Let me show y'all. X Teams with Visa. Now, I don't know who Payments Dive is. We'll kind of dig more into it. I'm gonna go into news. Let's see what else we got. And okay, financial services. Man, this was 5 days ago. So X is finna start having a payment system, and you get access to the federal funds. Man, must be nice. Must be nice. Listen, we get in trouble for stuff like that. We get in trouble for being too close to the register at the job. This is crazy. But hey, you know what? I know people don't think it's crazy. People don't think it's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with anything going on anymore these days. For real. Okay. But anyway, listen. Let's see here. Let me see here. What you saying, Elizabeth? She says me in. She said, can someone fill me in? All right. So man, Elizabeth, you've been gone the whole time. That's right. So long story short, here's what's happening. And this is a recap for everybody that's just joining us. Long story short, for those who don't know, the head of the CFPB was fired. Okay. And again, why he was being fired, he wasn't just fired. Mind you, he was in his role 3 out of 5 years. Okay. So which means that he still had time on the job. But the Trump administration has fired him. And the question is, why? Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, there's regulations. And no. Listen, let me tell you, we already talked about the real reason why he got fired. He got fired because they were doing too much for consumers. You telling credit card companies what to do. You telling Experian what to do. You telling Equifax what to do. You telling Navy Federal what to do. You talking, listen, y'all saw the list of stuff. Oh, man, y'all saw the list. I'm not going to pull that video back up. And I'm not going to pull that video. But either way, we're talking about medical debt being removed from your credit report. That was the CFPB. The Lexington law checks, the overdraft fees going down. Like, man, nobody's going to be looking out for the consumer anymore. Crazy. Okay. But listen, that's it. That is it. Okay. So listen, I'm scrolling. Elizabeth said, mark of the beast. Chris says, Elon ultimately wants X to be at everything, app, payments, messaging, social. Man, Elon Musk can't be trusted. Listen, Lynette says, look at the things he did before he was president. He was sued, everyone, including the banks, housing discrimination, and many other things. This is crazy. Yvonne says, this tea is fire for is your membership still available? Yeah, absolutely. So here, I'll pull this back up. So check this out. Again, for those who don't know, all right, I know y'all been up in here. Y'all deep in here tonight. Y'all do know we just broke a record. We literally just broke a record. The most people we've ever had on any live stream, we just broke a record. I think it was like 149 at one point, the record, but now it got up like over 200. So greatly appreciate you all for being here, of course. But either way, let me share this on my screen real quick. For those who don't know, yes, we do offer where's this at? Oh, right here. So I can now let me move myself out the way. But short version is hold on. It won't let me move. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh, I'm still too big. There we go. So let me move this real quick. So for those who don't know, yes, we can help you with your credit. Okay, you can join our credit community. So we've had people say, listen, help me get a car, help me lower my car payment, my car payment, help me get an auto loan, help me get an auto lease. I want to buy a house. I want to be a landlord. Listen, whatever your credit goal is, improving your credit score, again, business credit, listen, we can help you. This is why I stay on top of these topics, so I can know what to tell the people. Now, it's a lot of stuff I do not know. It's a lot of stuff I don't know. But what I do know is stuff like this that leads to other changes. For like, listen, for those who've been watching me for years, some of this stuff we called years ago. Now, we didn't know it was going to be like, happening like this with the presidents and stuff like that. But listen, we called a lot of this stuff years ago. But now it's kind of up in the air. When the CFPB did what they did with Equifax and Experian, we kind of had an idea of what was going on. But now we don't know what's going to happen. But just do know this. Everybody in our community will always know what to do best. And it's only getting better. By the way, in less than a couple weeks, guys, I'm going to have it in the community where you go to the community and you just put in you just go to a section where it shows you your credit score and what you need to do for your credit score. So if you're a 500 credit score, what you should be doing. If you are a 700 credit score, what you should be doing. If you want to lower your car payment, what you should be doing. So we're not just going to break it down where you just go to the course. We're going to say, hey, listen, what's your situation? I want to file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. What's the pros and cons? I'm rebuilding my credit after a bankruptcy. I want to lower my car payment. You'll be able to see to say, okay, this is what I want to do. And that shows you exactly what you need to do. That's what's going to be inside the community. Either way, I ain't trying to sell y'all. I'm just letting you know Coach Calvin is here. Okay. But we're going to be introducing some other coaches too. Oh, y'all, man. Oof. That's a whole nother conversation. Y'all ain't ready for that. All right. But anyway, let me make sure we get to I'm going to try to get to everybody before we wrap up. We're going to be wrapping up soon. Let me go back to this and let me open my shoes. Y'all clearly see my wife was sending me some stuff on Giuseppe. Lord have mercy. She said Mary J. Blige got these boots. And I'm like, I ain't know what Giuseppe was. I ain't gonna lie. And I looked it up. I was like, what? Anyway, just being honest. All right. So here, let's get back to the comments real quick. I don't want to miss out on nobody. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Oh, man. All right. So let's see here. But yes, those are the instructions on that as well, too. Okay. Randy says, y'all better find out what Trump is doing and what he's doing and be thankful. That guy he fired was smoke and mirrors. The CFPB itself is smoke and mirrors, being funded by who they being funded by. Randy, I hear you. But one thing for sure is, we'll find out. Let's just say this guy was smoke and mirrors, and it was his team that was doing everything. Let me go back to this real quick because I don't want us to lose sight of what's going on here. Let me go back to this. Let me make myself a little bit smaller. I want to make sure we don't lose sight of what's going on. So let me tell y'all something. Now, Randy just said that the guy that got fired was smoke and mirrors. Okay. And I'm not saying he's wrong. Here's what I do know. This is how many filings they had against financial institutions. This was just January. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was 8 filings in January. Now we know the holiday season was in December, but they still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And the list goes on of all these companies. Navy Federal, the Apple, the list goes on. We know about the less than law checks. I ain't got to keep talking about that. Why am I talking about this again? We are going to see if they are going to continue going after companies. And I'm going to give you all an update every week. Probably not every week, but we're going to keep an eye on this to see, because that'll let us know right then and there if they want the CFPB to do their job, now Randy, I know this might be hard to, and I'm not gonna say I won't say hard. Let me rephrase that. Now, Randy, this might be another way of looking at it, but in my opinion, they want the CFPB to do less. I'm just being honest, because if they wanted them to do more, they would say, "Hey, let's put more money into this. Let's give you a bigger team." They want this to change, but we're going to see. Actions will show everything. They'll show us. They'll show us. Let's keep going. But hey, we're all entitled to our opinions and on things of that sort. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Listen, more talk less says, Calvin, you might have to use Bitcoin for your X payments. Me, you may have to buy Bitcoin. Listen, that's what it sounds like I'm going to be pushed into. Okay, because let's for real. Oh, Chris has brought up something. I predict the lawsuit against Experian will be dropped. Thoughts? Facts. I think so too, Chris. I honestly think so. You know, I don't think Experian or Equifax is gonna get in trouble. Like they may force them to make some changes. People still gonna be disputing, but you know what? They might get extra petty and they may start charging people to dispute. We gonna see. Like I said, remember we had a long conversation about that when we first dropped the stories, right? I'm telling you, we are going to see what's going to happen. But I most definitely see those lawsuits being dropped. I most definitely see that. Listen, they're doing this because they don't want to get in trouble. They don't want nobody in their money, man. I don't know why people listen, when people start getting into people's pockets, that's what they don't want. That's what they don't want. Okay. So listen, 07 says, Calvin, should we be making any large purchases in the next year? So much going on. I don't even know if I should buy a house. You know what's crazy is that it's so difficult not to want to do what you want to do in your life when you got stuff like this going on right now. That's a valid question. But you know what, though? I could see if it was a better, like, I won't say a better alternative, an alternative that made sense. And it's like, we got to pay to stay somewhere anyway. So as far as like cars and stuff like that, I don't know. And to be honest with you, I can at least say this. We can all at least agree to this. We know that the Trump administration is going to look out for businesses. That's a fair statement. Whether we like it or not, it's a fair statement that we know the Trump administration is going to think business first. He's going to think business first. So that means he's going to think businesses first, which means he wants businesses to be in profit mode. Okay, because that's America. However, it's how that profit's made, and of course who loses in that process, right? What am I saying? I'm saying this to say that the banks are going to need people to take mortgages. The banks are going to need people to get auto loans, because when money's not flowing, that's not a good thing. When the banks aren't making money, that's when it is panic time. I'm telling you, that's what forces a recession. And not only just a recession, but you got to bail these banks out. You got to figure out certain situations. So again, I'm saying that to say, personally, I haven't seen much changes on that side of things. But I will say this. Now that we know kind of where we're going, it's almost like, okay, if I want to go into homeownership, if I want to do this or I want to do that, then you most definitely can. So I would say if you still got a goal, obviously, I still recommend going after your goals, whatever that goal is. Because like if you need a car, you still need a car. You know what I'm saying? Or if your landlord go up on the rent, I mean, how many times we gonna keep letting that happen? You know, so it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, you got to do what's best for you at the end of the day. All right. Listen, more talk. Let's says yes. All right. So that's for sure. Elizabeth says it's true. She says we laugh, but it's coming. These people will eventually get rid of cash altogether. One world banking system. All right. Sergeant King says experience 693 almost there. Appreciate that. That's for sure. Yep. Game changer. Listen, I'm trying to make sure y'all on top of this. Apostle Joan is in the house. Appreciate you being here. Chris says not MJ got on these boots. Let's Mary J. She had her own boot line. Crazy. It is crazy. All right. She says Calvin is going to say, don't buy nothing other than a house or rental property with decent cash flow. Listen, I didn't even read that comment yet. And I said it in the nicest way possible, right? Listen, at the end of the day, you got to pay to stay somewhere. You need to put yourself in an equitable position. One thing I can say about everything, we have to look out for ourselves. We have to understand we are the presidents of our own house. We got to make sure everything's in place. And that's why I'm keeping you all on top of these type of subjects, So we know, okay, credit cards are doing this, let's do this. Interest rates are doing this, let's do this. Auto loans are doing this, let's do this. Navy Federal's doing this, let's do this. We have to always have a strategy. We have to know what's going on so we know how to strategize when things, when it's time for things to happen. All right. And Sergeant King says IRS is bigger than the CFPB. Think about it. You're right about that. You are right. For sure. We'll see how that plays out. For sure. Chris says less or nothing. They're obviously not the Consumer Protection Administration. He says that was never their angle. The consumers will suffer, especially the lower income and lower scores. They cannot afford to purchase a home, a vehicle, and that's a necessity. All day long. Listen, all day long. Business is business. Business is business. Well, listen, I greatly appreciate you all being here. Y'all have been great inside of the chat as well. Okay, appreciate you, Apostle Joan, per usual. And Apostle Joan, ain't it? You up kind of late now. You normally be studying for, you had a test or something you were studying for. I hope you did well on that test, or you had to dip on us the other day. So you up kind of late up here. Now, just want to throw that out there. JG says, Equifax lost all my data. Sergeant says, thanks, Chris. All right. Experian has the Vantage score and Fair Isaac has a FICO. Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. But anyway, listen, we will keep you all posted. All right, for sure, on everything. I know y'all are constantly keeping the comments going, but I'm gonna have to dip away. Oh, Elizabeth says the ERS. Listen, that's sure what it's gonna be. Chris Pittman says when the IRS has fewer resources, they go after more small taxpayers because it takes more resources to audit billionaires. Ooh-wee. Man, y'all out here dropping gems today up in here, man. You are most definitely welcome, Chris. You're most definitely welcome, Sergeant, as well, too. Thanks again tonight, guys. We broke a record tonight. Listen, I'm going to keep you all posted, just like we always do. Y'all know me. We try our best not to get political, but when politics starts to get into our money, when it starts to get into our credit, when it starts to slow down how we move and how we shake, and I'm not a billionaire. So I can't say, well, this is what we about to like. No, that's a different type of conversation. This is more so like, hey, listen, I'm regular, just like you. Like we're regular people, right? We got different income levels here from 50,000 to 1 million. That's people. Listen, we are America that's on here, regardless of who you voted for. That's why I'm here, not in a non-biased format, to say, listen, you need to know about this, but this is what we need to do. Okay. But with just like always, we got plenty of stuff coming. And I apologize for not doing a live in a while either. But of course, you guys are always going to get great content. Every Monday and Tuesday, you guys will always get great content. But we about to turn these lives up because there's always something to talk about. Hope y'all ready for that. Hope you all are ready for that. Apostle Jones says, I'm dipping again. Too much to do, sir. More tests, 3 degrees at once. Get it, Apostle. Get it, Apostle John. We appreciate you being here and keep us posted on that so we can celebrate your graduation as well, too. We are an empire. Decline. The cash won't be worth for long. Thank you, Calvin. Appreciate you, Vincent. All right, guys, I got to run. See you all on the next